Hopefully it should be working now. I say hopefully. Let's see here. There's the Elite Series. There's chat. There's the stream. Audio working? Yeah, the audio is working as it should. So stream's up, chat's up, we're all good to go. Alright, hello and welcome everyone to round 13 of the PlayStation Pacific Series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event. We're back, and this time we're at Baku City Circuit for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The 6-kilometer 20-turn racetrack was first used back in 2016, and it's known for creating races full of action and drama. The track is somewhat unorthodox for a street circuit, as it has high average speeds and quite high Monza-like top speeds heading down the long straights into turns 1 and 3. These corners also provide the best overtaking opportunities around the racetrack as well. Basically, they're the only two overtaking opportunities on the racetrack. There's still a couple of tight, twisty sections that the drivers have to tackle, the most infamous of which is what ACW is going through right now, the castle section. Formed by turns 8 through 12, it has retired many cars and claimed many more front wings. It's a hair-raising section to go through when the field is bunched up on the opening lap and can be the scene of some major drama. But typically, here at Baku, the race is usually one of two things. It's either a complete ballfest, or it's a drama-filled demolition derby. Regardless of what it may be tonight, hopefully we all get to enjoy a nice race. But first, just a little bit of news from last week. No penalties dished out from last week, so the results from Singapore stand. Looking in the Drivers' Championship, we have Jax leading the way on 325 points, followed by iContrast on 259. There's 66 points separating the two. Meaning, if iContrast doesn't outscore Jax by 5 points or more here tonight, Jax will become the Season 5 Pacific Elite Drivers Champion, as we only have 2 rounds remaining after this one, as iContrast briefly goes into the wall there. Deary me. Looking at the Constructors Championship as well. Hopefully I've got a photo of the Constructors Championship. Let's see here. There it is. Aston Martin are currently leading on 365 points, followed by Alpine on 358. So very, very close fight between the top two and the Constructors, followed by McLaren on 305. They're mathematically in it, but realistically it's a 2-horse race between Aston Martin and Alpine. AlphaTauri are 4th on 181, followed by Mercedes on 173. Haas, Red Bull, Ferrari, Williams, then Alfa Romeo completes the leaderboard. And one final small bit of news is that, that's if you haven't been following Race Spec throughout the week, is that version 1.13 of F1 2021 was released fairly recently. So Jeddah has been added into the game. A very, very interesting racetrack, to say the least. And there was also some bug fixes in the background as well. But that's pretty much it in terms of news. We can now fully focus on qualifying. I better mention as well, we're starting an hour late. This was done to try and bring as many drivers into the event as possible, because apparently a lot of drivers were going to be late for the start of the event. So we delayed the start, and we have 17 cars competing in this event, which is a pretty solid field. It's not a full field, but you know, still very healthy. Got a few drivers that have set lap times. G-Force Ford, who is in the Mercedes-Benz, on top of the charts with a 138.188. Just under 4/10 clear of Isaac Kush on P2 with a 138.560. We've got this man on screen, Tinselman, rounding out the top 3 with a 39.3, currently 8/10 or so, actually 7.5 of Isaac Kush in P2, so quite a gap between P2 and 3, and a fairly big gap between 1 and 2 as well. Hilez has just smashed off his front wing there at turn 15. Very interesting to see. Probably got damage at some part of the lap, then he deliberately went into the wall just to get rid of that front wing. So the team replaced it completely. That's my educated guess anyway. Plenty to look out for the sake of the championship. If this man can win it all tonight, if he puts in a good performance, he's put in a fantastic performance throughout this season. He's won a ton of races, been rarely beaten. We'll see how he fares on this qualifying lap here in Baku. We're heading down the pit straight, down towards turn 1. He has DRS wide open. The speedo climbing over 325 kilometers now, 326, 327, into the braking zone of turn 1. Third gear, exiting in 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear, towards turn 2, brings it back down to 3rd, avoids that inside curve there, and down the back straightaway towards turn 3. Get on the brakes, probably at a 100 meter board. There we are. Brings it down to 3rd. Short shifts to 4th to find the traction. A brief rub of the wall there on the exit. Through turn 4. Now up towards the tight chicane of 5 and 6. Very slow, cumbersome chicane, and he brushed the inside wall there at turn 5. Exiting 6, heading towards the hairpin of turn 7. You have to cut quite a bit here, and he's cut too much, Jack. Very easy to do. Through the castle section, and he puts the car into the wall. Completely destroyed front wing. High contrast should be... he's just past Jax. He's coming out of turn 12. Then around turn 13. 14. And into the tricky turn 15. Has a unique esports line where you do exactly that. You send the car over the inside curve, touring car style. You can find a few tenths. Exiting turn 16 through 17. Into the fast S of turns 18 and 19. Absolutely flat out in the dry. Less so in the wet. And I haven't got a weather report either. So I don't know what the conditions in the race are going to be like. DRS open. Down towards the control line. High contrast will set a 138.925. Goes 3rd quickest. Not a bad lap from the driver who is currently 2nd in the Drivers' Championship. BP is getting ready to complete a flying lap. Just to note as well with Jax, he's won every single race bar 2. So we've had 12 rounds, he's won 10 of them. The only 2 rounds he didn't win was a DNF at Austria, where I believe he got disqualified, if memory serves me right, and a 4th place finish at Suzuka. Other than that, he's won every single race, and he's won and got fastest lap in all of them except for 2, that being Bahrain and Netherlands, where he only won the race, he didn't claim fastest lap. So yeah, Jax is on a roll. But currently though, he's at the bottom of the table with just over 7 minutes left in the session. He's got plenty of time, he just can't afford to make too many mistakes in that amount of time. It's a long lap here at Baku, 6 kilometers long. Make a mistake, it's a long trip back to the pits. Plev's making his way around turn 7. Yellow flags being displayed at turn 2. Through the castle section, through turn 11, and then through turn 12. Plevs isn't using any battery, so he's on a 2nd outlap. Interesting. Power sight, you're going in. He's on the soft compound, heading up towards the line. 37, 38, so 138.8, it's P3 for ACW. Is that Kush? like he's going back into the pits at the end of this lap. Plev's on a proper flying lap now, I believe. Yeah, he's using some battery now. Heading down the back straightaway towards turn 3. We'll probably get rid of the tyre detail for now. Takes up way too much space. Through turn 3. Down towards turn 4. Down to third gear. Gets on the throttle gently. Goes right up towards the wall as well. Fully maximising the width of the racetrack, and it's paid off. He's up by almost 2/10. Slow car in the third sector. That's okay. I believe that's Isaac Kush there. Probably run out of fuel. Up towards the castle section. Turns 8, 9, 10, then 11 and 12. Have to get a nice exit here. He does so. Into the flat out left-handers of turns 13, then 14, into the tricky turn 15. See there, Plebs avoiding that inside curb, not sending it over the inside curb touring car style. Up by 1.1 seconds in the middle sector. Through turn 17 and into 18 and 19. Nice and steady there. Around the final corner. Just a long run to the line, and he's backed off. He's going to go into the pits. Interesting. He was set to improve by quite a bit, but he's bailed out of the lap. G4 Zach jumps up a few places, improving by 3/10, setting a 1:39.601. He jumps into the top 10 with that time. Hillers, he's invalidated his lap. By contrast, he's getting ready to set a flying one. Jack. So I'm guessing our championship leader is going to wait right till the last moment to set a lap. Championship rival is doing no such thing. He's getting out there. Going to set a flying lap. Crosses the control line to begin his lap. Head down towards turn 1. Get on the brakes. Third gear. Flips the inside curb nicely. Uses all the road on the outside as well. Bit of lag there. That is a lot of lag. Jumping around quite a bit on the onboard. Up towards turn 3. Down to second gear. It's out of there quite nicely. Then around turn 4. Sporting quite a nice looking helmet. A chrome helmet with splashes of purple here and there. Up by 1/10.5 in the first sector. Exiting turn 6. Down towards the tight hairpin of turn 7. So down to second gear, 80 kilometers an hour at the apex. Hillers has retired in the pit lane. His qualifying is over through the castle section. Around turn 11, then turn 12. Oh, a bit wide on the exit. Fortunate not to invalidate there. Game can be quite brutal in that regard. Up towards turn 15. Down to third gear, really sends it over the inside curb. Down the hill towards the second sector split. The clock says he's only up by 74 thousandths of a second. Through turn 17. Then turn 18. 19. One corner remains. The flat out right hander of turn 20. Will open DRS. Up towards the line. The clock says he's improved, but only by 0.5. Stays P4. ACW getting ready. Isaac Kush in the middle of a flying lap, heading up towards the first sector split. Clock says he's up by 1/10. G4 Zach has retired in the pit lane. The session is done. Best he can hope for is P9. Exiting turn 7. Up towards the castle section. Really sending it through here. Getting right up against the wall. Close as you can without crashing into it, obviously. BP has retired. Has he crashed out of turn 1? Out of curiosity. Prezzo has retired as well. You can see he's stopped there. It's completely stationary at turn 1, at the exit of turn 1. Oh, hang on. There he is there. Right into the wall. Ghost Rider's gone straight on, it seems. Tinselman has retired. Isaac Kush coming towards the end of a flying lap. Oh, dearie me, he's right in the middle of the road there. Isaac improves, not by enough, to take pole position away from Ford. He's exiting turn 12. ACW making his way through the castle section. He's up by a little bit. By contrast, he'll be going back into the pits. Jaxo did not set a lap time. His qualifying is done, I think. Got the checkered flag next to his name, and I'm pretty sure that's the AI controlling the car. So Jax will be starting from the back of the field in 17th. On a day where he could have won, or he can win the Drivers' Championship, he's got a lot of work to do from the back of the field. GeForce Ford improves to set a 38 flat. Can anyone challenge that? ACW coming up towards the line. It's not enough for ACW. Stays P3 with a 138.843. Pump, his session is done. Power Sight, his session is done as well. There goes Jax, the AI. A lot of work to do from 17th. That should be qualifying over. Here at Baku, we're just waiting on some cars to retire from the session. We can actually have a look at who's starting on what inside the top 10. And everyone except for BP and P9 will be starting on the soft compound tyre. BP setting a 139.497. He did that on the mediums. Plebs, he also did his time on the medium tyre as well. But he was just outside of the top 10 in P11. There we are. Now it's just wait till everybody's completed the session and we can move on to the race itself. Plenty to look forward to tonight. We got this race here at Azerbaijan, which hopefully will be good. We've also got the Qatar Grand Prix in real life to look forward to. And that epic championship battle between Lewis and Max starting to reach its climax. So we've got a long night ahead of us here in the Formula One community. And there we go, GeForce Ford on pole position with a 38.009, out qualifying Isaac Kush by just under half a second. ACW in third, then iContrast in fourth. Spicy in P5, followed by Hilles in P6. Pump in seventh, Tinselman in eighth. BP on the mediums in ninth. Then we got GeForce Zach rounding out the top 10. We got Plebs P11, same with Nick in Plebs in P11, Nick in P12. Power Sight in P13, Marvel in P14. Then we've got Prezzo P15, Ghost Rider in 16th, and Jack starting from the back of the field in 17th place. Righto. What will the conditions look like? A bit overcast. You can see some cloud cover. But there's also patches of blue. And importantly, it's a dry start for this race here at Baku. Now the opening lap here tends to be an area where a lot of drama can unfold. Particularly at turn 1, turn 2. And also the castle section. If we have anybody make a mistake through there, it can cause quite a lot of drama. So I'm sure a lot of these drivers are thinking, Just get through the opening lap. Don't do anything too silly. Otherwise you'll be right to the back of the field. Or even worse, retired out of the race. Right. So, drivers inside the top 10. All of them are starting on the soft compound tyre. Except for BP V8 in the Haas. He's qualified on the medium, so he starts on the medium tyre in P9. First driver outside the top 10 is Plebs. He's starting on the medium tyre. Nick, who's starting alongside him, is starting on the soft compound tyre. I like it. It's nice and aggressive, and he wants to try and keep up and make moves inside the top 10 at the beginning of the race, then try and compensate later on. Power side P13 on the medium tyre, same with Marvelin in P14. Prezzo P15 starting on the medium tyres. Ghost Rider, who got disqualified a few moments ago, he's starting on the soft compound tyre. And Jack's at the back of the field, he's starting on the medium. So nobody's starting on the hard tyre. Everyone either starting on the soft tyre or on the mediums. Got 6 drivers on the mediums, which means 11 drivers on the soft compound tyre. Be interesting to see how Jax carves his way through the field as well. Not the easiest track to pass, that's for sure. There's definitely worse ones. Ones like Monaco and Suzuka and Zandvoort can be a bit of a pain as well, just due to the nature of the racetrack. At least here you got some opportunities at turns 1, 3 with the help of DRS. You might be able to send it down the inside of turn 5. And maybe, just maybe, if you're a gambling man, you send it down the inside of the hairpin of turn 7. Oh, and hello, Prezzo. He was in the wall there trying to get heat into his tyres. Oh dear. Leaders and the rest of the field are making their way back onto the pit straight. And they'll line up into their respective grid slots. Rightio. Just be waiting on Jax, back of the field, to line up into his slot. Get this race underway. We got 10 red lights, and we are underway here at Baku. Ford converts well, but so does Isaac Kush. He converts really well. He'll lead the field at turn 1, side by side, between ACW and Nye Contrast there at turn 1. Into turn 2 we go, and it's spinning Alfa Romeo. That is Ghost Rider. He spins into the wall at turn 1. Down the back straightaway towards turn 3. Spicy, High Contrast, side by side. Down towards the left-hander. High Contrast just hangs on, but Spicy's putting up a fight. Spicy can't quite hang on. Bit of shuffling here in the midfield. Drivers trying to make their way towards the front, whilst keeping their front wings out of the race-ending barriers. Down towards the hairpin of turn 7. Jax has made up a few positions. Marvelin and Powerside side by side briefly there. Jax right up behind Pump, heading through the castle section. I thought I heard someone scrape the wall there, and that is Prezzo. He's gone head first into the wall. Gets it going again. He's lost a lot of time. So is Ghost Rider, who is completely missing a front wing. Tenselman making up a move on BP there at turn 16. BP's putting up a fight, and Prezzo is out of the race, crashing out at turn 13. What an intense battle these two were having. BP and Tenselman having a fair old scrap through the high-speed S section. Down the pit straight as Zach overtakes Nick. Tenselman's going to have a go here. He's alongside the Haas. with the inside line, but BP fights back. They're side by side on the exit. BP gets a better run. He maintains his 6th place. A big send there from Plebs. Oh, and the Ferrari almost goes into the wall, but keeps it out of the barrier. Gilles slots in behind Tinselman as they head down towards turn 3. And Gilles doesn't go for any sort of move. Meanwhile, at the front, Ford has retaken the lead from Izzat. Sure, Izzat will try and fight back. Still well within reach of G-Force Ford. Pump and Ghost Rider. So Pump getting damage early on too. Already we're 1 car down. Got a lot of laps to go. Ford just trying to pull away. If he can get out of that 1 second range, he'll do himself some massive favours. And that's Nick. He has spun round at turn 12. Gets pointed back in the right direction. But he's a long way behind now. For Zach getting by Gilles. Relative ease. He's making his way through the high-speed S section. Jax is closing in at a rapid rate of knots. Now with DRS enabled, this should spice things up. There is the prompt showing up down towards turn 1. The 3 closing in on one another. Importantly for Izzat, he's still within 1 second of Ford, so he can keep that battle for the lead alive. Ford, he's driving well and he's pulling away. Nick is into the pits. He gets a 5-second penalty for speeding as well. He'll be getting a front wing fixed. Pretty sure he was missing an end plate on that Alfa Romeo. And through turn 3. Can't really make any moves through here. Plebs, BP side by side. Plebs makes a big move at turn 5 and he's into P6. Tinselman's on the back of this as well. There is the Ferrari. Oh, I reckon he thought he might have a go at turn 7. But Tinselman stays behind through the castle section. Oh, Plebs made a mistake. He definitely made some sort of mistake. The group bunches up quite a bit. And now Zach is within a second of this 3-way battle. Jax gets by Gilles. Gilles must have made a mistake at turn 12. See the gap, it's very, very big already. Yeah, McLaren making some sort of error through the castle section. Izzat has now fallen away from 40 as well between the top 2. It's 1.1 seconds. Needs to get back within 1 second. Won't be easy, but he needs to do it, and that is Gilles. He's backwards. Does a fairly nice pirouette there. Here comes Tinselman down the inside of BP into turn 1. Really overshoots the corner. And BP gets back by. Oh, Zach almost does the same thing in P9. And there's Jax in the background, closing in. Down the back straight towards turn 3. Plebs leading the train, followed by BP, then Tinselman. Zach isn't too far behind, neither is Jack in P10. Oh, and Zach massively overshoots it. You have to find reverse, there we go. A nice little flick spin, if you can. There we go. We get going again. Yeah, big overshoot at turn 3. He was fortunate that there's plenty of runoff there at turn 3. Got his car pulled up, pointed in the right direction. Away he goes once again. In the castle section. Tinselman losing a little bit of ground. Gap increasing to over a second. Izzat's now within a second. He's almost half a second behind Ford. Let's see this battle intensify a little bit here. Getting through 18 and 19 absolutely flat out. Heading around turn 20, 7/10 of a second separating the top 2. Is that we'll have DRS wide open and closing the gap? No. Ooh. I thought he was pitting in, and Ghost Rider's out of the race, crashing out at turn 4, and we have a safety car. Oh, I wish Izzat went into the pits. That could have been massive. And a few drivers coming in. BP and Tinselman into the pits to take advantage of this safety car coming out. Set of medium tyres going on Tinselman's car. BP, he has a front wing change and new mediums fitted on the car. There goes Tinselman. Williams is coming in. That must be Marvlin coming in. Power side into the pits. Zach into the pits. He'll be getting off those soft tyres, chucking on mediums. There we go. Power side, a front wing change. The Alpine driver. New set of medium tyres on the car. And away he leaves. Here comes Nick into the pits as well. Take advantage of the situation. Zach and Hillers changing places there for some reason. Nick being held. Must have had a 5 second. Ah, yes, it's 5 second for speeding. Now that's a smart move. It removes that 5 second penalty. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And you can catch up to the tail of the train. What about the leaders? What do? Well, surely they pit. They have to get off the soft tyres. Take advantage of the safety car being out. Chuck on the mediums probably. Don't think any of them will be tempted by the hard tyre, I want to say. Though I have been wrong before on many, many, many occasions. Here comes Ford and Izzat, both of them going into the pits. Everybody pulls up. Nice. There goes Ford's set of mediums. Going on the car. Izzat. He too a set of mediums. ECW. What are you up to? Set of mediums. Same with Spicy in the Ferrari. Jax is into the pits too in P7. He's going on to the hard tyre. He's going to try and go to the end on those. He should be able to go to the end. Those tyres won't be amazing, but they are very durable, and they will get to the end. He's in P8. BP V8, a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car. I don't quite understand that. He was catching up to the tail of the train, and there's no delta when you're doing that. So the game has royally screwed him over here. Why is the game give... That is so strange. Yeah, the lap after the safety car comes out, and you're told to catch up to the tail of the queue, you're allowed to go as quick as you need to in order to catch up. But for some reason, a delta must have popped up on BP's screen. And he got a speeding penalty for it. He's been royally screwed over with that. Dear oh dear. Plebs on the soft tyre, what are you up to? I mean, I like it, because it's different. But, yeah, that will be very interesting to see how that fares on the soft tyre. You'll be rapid for about 5 laps or so. But then what do you do? Pray for another safety car, I guess? See if it works out for plebs. But yes, hello chatter. Haven't talked to chat too much, I should be. Hello Steiny, Brock Bear, Ferrari Pro, hello. And I agree, Brock, it's a crazy penalty. Don't know why the game decided to give it to him. I have absolutely no idea. And I'm sure BP is wondering the exact same thing. As Jax joins the tail of the field, so instead of committing on the hard tyre, he's decided to come in and chuck on another set of mediums. He's now back in 15th. So he's lost 7 positions by doing this. Okay. Well, he's met the 2 tyre compound requirement. So he can go on whatever tyre he wants to for the rest of the race. So I suppose by doing this it opens up strategy quite a bit, but yeah, you've lost a fair amount of track position. Evidently though, he's shown a lot of speed throughout the championship, so he'll probably try and make his way through. Be nice and aggressive and try and make up some positions. How have I been going? I've been going pretty well. Been a fairly quiet week. Not much has been happening. Had several league races here at Azerbaijan, which were quite interesting. Not a lot of racing, but a lot of drama here at Baku. And I did a bit of commentating. Where was that at? Oh, at Shanghai. My goodness, I haven't commentated at Shanghai in ages, but we had a race at Shanghai I had to get reacquainted with that track. And if you ever look up the definition of mediocre in the dictionary, you'll find an image of Shanghai, honestly. It's the most middle racetrack. I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it's definitely not great either. It's sort of just in the middle. And the racing's a bit like that too at Shanghai. It's just sort of in the middle. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad. The Ford, he's getting ready. Spicy is overtaking High Contrast. Yeah, get back there. There you go. G-Force Ford is waiting a long time to go, and he's finally gone. And Spicy, he's going to try and get by Contrast here. He will get by Contrast. Easily. Ah, Contrast was sleeping there on the restart, was he? Heading up towards turn 2, and High Contrast gets back by. But look at the gap. It's 2 seconds between P3 and 4. What are these fellas up to? I guess Spicy let Contrast back by. Maybe he got a legal overtake from Plebs looking down the inside on the soft tyre. He wants to make moves. He wants to make full use of the soft tyre. Go as fast as possible. Try and make up as many positions as he can. Through the chicane. Everybody gets through there relatively well. Jax is already up to 12th from 15th. Hiller's trying to get by Pump. There goes Jax. Up through the castle section. Be nice and careful through here. See, just keep a little bit of distance between your wheels and the barriers there. You just have to be a little bit mindful. But no, a fairly controlled restart, I'd say, except for that little bit of drama between Contrast and Spicy there on the restart. But that didn't really amount to anything, so good. All 15 cars still in the race. Pump trying to make moves here on Marvelin. Gets through into P9. Hilles will probably like to follow suit. Plebs and Contrast changing places at turn 1. As BP goes into the pits to serve the drive-through. There goes Hilles looking down the inside. Can't make the move stick. Jax gets a switchback, but he gets very squirrely on the exit. Down towards turn 2 we go. Marvelin drops down to 12th. Exiting turn 2. Jax still applying pressure. He won't be close enough, I think. And he doesn't have any DRS to help him out either. And a 4-car train here led by Plebs. he'll act as a sort of spearhead to try and get back towards the top three. He'll be a lot quicker on those tyres. There's ACW in third. Flares will be closing in. He's on the better tyre. Should feel quite a bit quicker compared to ACW. The gap's still hovering at about 1.9, 1.8 seconds or so. It hasn't made any inroads just yet. Around the old city of Baku, that's Pump. Losing 2 positions. Make that 3. Down to 11th. He's got a missing front wing on that Mercedes too. So he'll have to come in and get that replaced. As Nick gets by Marvelin. Jax gets by Hillers. He's into P8. So in the matter of 2 laps, Jax has moved from 15th to 8th. Made up 4 positions a lap. Very fast. Very fast. Pump is a bit of a sitting duck here. He's going to lose a whole heap of time in the pits getting that front wing fixed. Hillers closing in, looking left. Doesn't look to the inside though at turn 3. Up towards turn 4, eye contrast. Getting a bit of a toe down the back straight with the help of DRS. Trying to keep this fight alive. Spicy and Tunselman are right behind. So we've got Nick and Pump in the pits getting front wing changes. So Nick coming into a bit of bad luck early, had to come into the pits, get his front wing fixed. Safety car comes out, saves his race, and then he has to go back into the pits again. Unfortunately, get his front wing fixed. Marvelin gets passed by Power Side. BP is closing in. He's trying to make up some lost time thanks to a drive-through penalty. Here we go, looking down the inside into 13. Marvelin leaves the door wide open for BP and he moves into P12. Gaps are starting to spread out already. Only a few laps after the safety car restart. This is one of the closer battles on track between Parasite and BP. Should see a move here from the Haas driver. He is close. I believe he's close enough to make a move. Exiting the final corner, down the pit straight we go. We'll open DRS. We'll close in on the Alpine. Down towards turn 1. Doesn't close in by enough to attack. Power Sight runs wide. BP doesn't get a great exit. Into turn 2, locking up there. And because of that narrow line BP took, he was a bit compromised on the exit. As default Zach gets by Hillers. And here comes BP round the outside on the racing line. Through into 11th. Already Zach has lost ground, has he? No, sorry. Hillers. I thought it was Hillers passing Zach, not the other way around. Anyway, I must have misread that. Mine's a bit kerfuddled. These two are having a scrap. That's the main deal. What I'm trying to talk about. Gap is about 7/10 of a second between these two. Zach trying to pull away. Hiller's doing all he can to keep up. Stay within that 1 second range. Make full use of the DRS. Get a nice aerial shot here of the circuit. Can see quite the unique landscape here at Azerbaijan. Got a healthy mix of modern and classical architecture, coupled with quite a bit of nature surrounding the racetrack. For a street circuit, there is quite a lot of green here, has to be said. Plenty of trees, plenty of vegetation. You have to say, although this game is horribly broken, visually speaking, it's pretty top-notch. Co-masters always do a pretty good job when it comes to the visuals. And it's closing in, but again, not by enough. We do have another battle happening up here. Plebs has closed in to almost within a second of ACW. So those soft tyres giving him an edge. But I reckon after 5 or so laps, he's going to start losing that edge. Get within that 1 second range, he's just outside of it. 1.3 seconds, he's losing time. Through turn 15. Down towards turn 16. Arguably the most important corner on the circuit, as that corner dictates the entirety of Sector 3. Turn 17, 18, 19, 20, they're all taken flat out. So if you stuff up turn 16, you screw up quite a big sector of the racetrack as I contrast moves into P4, overtaking Plebs with the power of DRS. Will Plebs retaliate? He's lost a bit of ground at the exit of turn 1, coming into turn 2 here. Plebs needs to get a good exit. I wouldn't say it was great. I reckon it might be good enough. Plebs closing in. Coming up towards the braking zone of turn 3. It's not close enough. I contrast will hang on to P4 for now. But with that little scrap, ACW has pulled away. Gap is now 1.6 seconds. It used to be about 1.3. It's not a massive gain for ACW, but it's a gain nonetheless. And to be quite honest, I'm quite surprised how spread out the field is. It's very spread out. Hopefully get a few more battles sprouting up soon. Try and spice the race up a little bit. Spicy, speaking of spice, is closing in on Plebs. Now, Spicy recently won his first race in Race Spec. In Pacific Tier 1, he won the Singapore Grand Prix. Had a nice chat after the race, and he said that he was always a great fan of street circuits. He's always loved the challenge of it as Plebs goes into the pits. And currently he's on pretty good form in P5. Within a second of eye contrast as well. Oh, he's just outside of it now. Spoke too soon. Will he get DRS? Nope. Doesn't get any DRS. Here comes Jax, closing in on Tinselman. Down the inside. He'll get him before the braking zone at turn 3. An easy move for the championship leader. He is into P6. Just over the halfway mark as well. We're on lap 14 of 26 here at Azerbaijan. Still got a lot of racing to get through. Leaves plenty of time for this guy to charge his way towards the front. The gap between him and the next car is 3.7 seconds. That's the Spicy in P5. See if he can close that gap. And I better remind the audience as well, and to anyone else who watches this afterwards, if I Contrast doesn't outscore Jax by 5 points or more in this round here at Azerbaijan, the man on screen will become the Season 5 Pacific Elite Drivers Champion with 2 rounds left. Got a 66-point lead. Next 2 rounds offer 62 points. So, by contrast, needs to outscore Jax by 5 here to keep it alive, as a minimum. gap between Jax and Spicy hasn't really decreased. He's stayed at about 3.8. Spicy though, his gap to the car in front has decreased. He's within half a second of Eye Contrast. Eye Contrast, well, he needs as many cars between him and Jax as possible. So with Spicy passing him, you'll have a grand total of 0 cars between him and Jax. So Eye Contrast, he'll try and hang on as best he can to P4. He might let Spicy by and just sort of tow him, give himself a tow behind Spicy. You know, that sort of gamesmanship with the DRS. And that is Plebs and Marvelous. They're both gone straight on at turn 3. Plebs, he gets going again. What an odd thing to see on the minimap. Both cars going straight on at turn 3. I wonder if they collected one another. Not sure. They've lost a fair amount of time. Spicy, he's right on the back of Contrast. We go for a move. Exiting 2, Eye Contrast gets a pretty good run out of turn 2. I don't think Spicy will be able to attack into turn 3. No, you won't. Not close enough. Not close enough. So he stays half a second or so behind the Aston Martin. Power side into the pits. What are you up to? New tyres, new front wing being put on the Alpine. So he got damage at some point, which is really easy to get here in Baku. There he leaves the pit. You reckon, Brockbear? Let's have a look. Coming up towards his pit stall. Oh. The camera angle doesn't offer much, but he's definitely getting a front wing change. So he got wing damage of some sort, probably an end plate missing. I think you were right. Brock? I think you were absolutely right. He'll leave the pits, he's a good 20 seconds behind the next car. Really needs a safety car to save his race. Plebs, oh, look at the position he's in now. Went onto the soft tyre and the safety car restart. That plan essentially backfired. He's now down in 14th. A long way behind where he once was. BP closing in on Hillers. 7/10 separating the two. Eye Contrast is still hanging on to 4th place. To his credit, he's doing a great job hanging on. It wouldn't be easy. Must have some pretty solid straight line speed in that Aston Martin. BP not quite close enough. Sound like a broken record. It's always a story. The driver behind has DRS. They don't quite get enough overspeed to try and make any sort of move. It's probably the same story with Spicy in P5 in the Ferrari. He's half a second behind. He's close enough. Come down through turn 15. You can see the drivers avoiding that inside curb as if it were the plague. In qualifying though, you see them send it over the curb, try and find those few extra tenths of a second. Exiting turn 19. Spicy, you're surely close enough now. Uses a bit of his battery, pulls out of the slipstream, opens DRS. He is through into 4th place. There's nothing Contrast can do here at turn 1. What he can try and do is get a run out to turn 2 and attack into 3. He can't quite get that. Oh, and Spicy gets... Oh! He's within a second of ACW. I was going to say, how did he get DRS? That's how. BP gets by Hillez. Can Hillez fight back? Oh no, the McLaren lost a whole heap of time there at turn 2. A lot of time at turn 2. Nowhere near close enough to attack. This is the battle for third. ACW and Spicy. This battle's really starting to hot up, pardon the pun. Through turns 13 and 14. Half a second. Around turn 15. Surely Spicy, you're close enough to pass ACW. Coming out of 19 towards turn 20. Sitting right behind the AlphaTauri, there's little ACW can do. Opens DRS, uses a bit of battery. Gets by. Into P3 goes Spicy. ACW, he stays there. P4 unable to do anything to retake that P3 for now. And the back straight. ACW will get a bit of DRS to help him out as Hillez goes into the pits. ACW and I contrast, they're putting up a fight. This battle is not over. Meanwhile, Jax is closing in. The gap is only 2.5 seconds now. And if these three really start to battle, he'll close up a little bit quicker. Sector 3 Yellow's power site is out of the race. And we have a virtual. That's evolved into a proper safety car. Right. This changes things. Right on board here with Marvelin. See where power site ended up. There is... Oh, he just despawned, but he was in the right-hand side barrier after turn 19. Probably just lost control. Front end went into the right side wall, and that's where he stayed. So that's retirement number 3. Ford into the pits. Same with Izzat. They're all going to come in, probably put on softs. Soft tyres for Ford. Soft tyres for Izzat. Well, that's Spicy. Soft tyres going on the car. ACW. Yep. Look, everybody's going to chuck on the softs. Hopefully Tinselman won't be held in the pits too long. It's only a small hold. Maybe a second at the absolute most. But now we've got that extra layer of drama. Now, gonna have a sprint to the flag. You can see as well, not too many drivers have penalties. Got GeForce Zach with 3 and Pump with 3, but that's it. And everyone should be on the same tyre. Everyone will pit onto the softs, I imagine. Nick, he'll be coming into the pits, I'm sure. Maybe not. Stays out. Interesting. Well, what about you, plebs? Surely you're coming in. Get off those medians, put on a set of softs. lifting off, he's thinking about it. No, he stays out. Definitely thought about it though. Turned left very late. But he stays out. Interesting decision. The laps are very long here at Baku, so the drivers at the back of the field are going to be given quite a bit of time to try and catch up. They should be able to catch up to the tail of the train. Probably don't need the tyre graphic anymore, do we? We'll have a look at the position graphic. So, Ford and Izzat, they haven't made or lost any positions. Spicy up 2, ACW and I Contrast down 1 each. Jack's up 11 from starting at the back, he's in P6. Tinselman up 1. G4 Zach up 2, BP. Hasn't made any positions or lost any. Hillez down 4. Nick up 1. Pump down 5. Plebs down 2. And Marvelin hasn't made any places either or lost any in P14. Really get rid of that. Don't really need it. Now, just a straight dash to the flag. Got 40 at the front. We got Izzat in second. Both of these two have been very, very quick over the course of the race. And at the front for almost all of it. Spicy in P3. He'll go for it. All of these guys, I reckon, will go for it as hard as they can. And the man who has won absolutely everything in P6 is in with a definite shot of winning from that position. It's a bit of a tall order, but it's definitely not impossible. And there's only 2 other race winners in the field. This guy and this guy. That's it. Jax, I Contrast and BPV8 have been the only race winners over the course of this championship so far. I Contrast won in Austria, BP won in Japan after one of the most spectacular races I have ever seen. There's a real shot that we'll see a new race winner today because the top 4, none of them have won a race in the Season 5 Pacific Elite Series. And with every lap being ticked off, it gives those 4 an even bigger opportunity to try and win. Alright. So I reckon we'll go back on the green flag racing at the end of this lap. So we'll go back on the green flag racing at lap 23. That will give us 4 laps. Lap 23, lap 24, 25 and 26. To sort this out. On lap 25 we'll get DRS, as Marvelin gets a 5-second penalty for speeding. Those two coming in for fresh tyres, seems. Fresh softs for both of them. Plebs is on fresh softs as well, so he's made a pit stop. And he's in 12th. He should be able to catch up to the tail of the field very quickly. And we've also got that scoring scenario between Contrast and Jack. In their current positions, in P5 and P6, Jax will win the Drivers' Championship at the end of the race. Of course, we've still got a bit of racing to get through, where anything can happen. Still 14 cars in the race. Theoretically, any one of these guys could win. Just have to wait and see. But I think everyone has caught up to the tail of the field now. The safety car will go into the pits at the end of this lap. Come down the hill towards the third sector split. Safety car lights will go out. There we go. Safety car in this lap. And Ford will control the field. Is that? See, they're warming his tyres up. Needs to be right behind 40. Get ready to try and match him on the restart. And everybody warming up their tyres. Ford, he needs to try and bolt at the best opportunity possible. And Izzat needs to react as quickly as they can, but he needs to get closer. There we are. Everyone's bunching up now. This is going to be a fairly tense restart for everyone involved here as they come up towards the control line. Ford steadies the field. Oh, and they go. ACW overtakes Spicy, I think, before the control line. It's like 23 of 26. A big send. Contact between Spicy and ACW there at turn 1. Coming down towards turn 2. Ford gets a pretty good restart, and Nick spins. The Alfa Romeo spins out at turn 1. Jax is through into 4th place. What a restart from our championship leader. Coming up towards turn 3, ACW. He's down in 5th now. I'll get by championship leader. iContrast is right behind as well. BP overtaking Zach. That is for P8. Zach almost going into the wall there on the outside of turn 4. Hillez trying to force the issue down the inside of turn 4. Contact and spinning. Hillez spins into the wall. Hits that side as well. He's down in 13th. Pump. Zach. Side by side contact. Bit of contact there between Pledge and Zach as well. Significantly lighter compared to the contact between Pump and Zach. There's a fair old chunk there. Around turn 13 comes to midfield. Tinselman on the back of Contrast. His championship hope slipping away. Ford has pulled away out in front. A gap of already 1.1 seconds. Oh, Tinselman runs wide. Oh, rejoins right in front of BP, who is now on his gearbox. Through turn 18, then 19. They're close. Through turn 20, and that's Nick bringing out yellow flags again. Using up his battery, setting up in the slipstream, pulls out of it, looking down the inside. Down towards turn 1, it's a drag race into the left-hander. Big send from BP, just pulls it up. Tinselman tries to get the switch back. It's not enough. BP is into 7th. He gets a fairly nice exit out of turn 2 as well. Tries to pull away from the Ferrari, but that slipstream really helping out. Already Ford. 1.2 seconds. Izzat can't do much. Oh, and that's Marvelin. Again going head on at turn 3. Gets it back out on track. Gets going again. So we've got some tight battling in the lower midfield. Got some tight battling in the upper midfield. Through the castle section. Coming out of the castle section comes this upper midfield. By contrast in P6. Not the position he needs to be in. And unless something dramatic happens, I think it's championship over. Oh, running wide again, Tinselman. Just overshooting turn 16. Second lap in a row he's done that. DRS should be enabled this lap too. GeForce Ford setting fastest lap with a 1 minute 40.180. Jax closing in. Coming out of turn 2, down the back straight towards 3, closing in with the power of DRS. Chipping away at that margin. It's not enough to take Spicy though. The Ferrari hangs on. ACW is in this too. Through turns 5 and 6. Plevs is up into 10th, overtaking Pump. Around the hairpin, turn 7. BP a 3-second time penalty in P7. That's not great, considering how tightly bunched up the field is. Up the hill, around turn 13. 6/10. Separating P3 and 4, make that half a second through turn 15. Down the hill towards 16. Will Jax go for a move here? I think he will. From 17, from 18 and 19, Gilles is out of the race. There he's gone head first into the wall, I think. So he's out. By contrast, closing in, Jax passing Spicy. He moves onto the podium, moves into 3rd place. I contrast trying to fight. ACW hangs on though. I contrast can't get close enough to attack just yet. Both cars have DRS. I contrast doesn't get a great exit. Spicy, he's closing in. Not by enough. Very deep on the brakes there. Gets right in behind the Alpine. VP's on the back of that battle for 5th place as well. Very tight here. For these battles that's happening inside the top 10. Jax looks like he's going to hang on. Not much Spicy can do. This is Zach Kush in 2nd place. Driven well. Stayed at the front of the field pretty much all the way through the race. He's been bested by only one driver tonight. GeForce Ford come out of turn 19 for the final time. Around turn 20 for the final time. And we'll have a 4th different race winner in the Pacific Elite Series as GeForce Ford takes the win just here at Azerbaijan. But an even bigger celebration awaits Jax, as I can say with absolute confidence that Jax is the Season 5 Pacific Elite Series champion. Drivers champion. Well done, Jax. A superb season. He's wrapped up the championship with 2 rounds to go. Spicy finishes in P4. ACW rounding out the top 5. By contrast, did all he could. P6. The best that he could manage. Tinselman, P7, and BP in 8th, Plevs in 9th, GeForce Zach rounds out the top 10. We have Pump in P11, then Marvelin in P12, and Nick will be our final finisher in 13th place. Crosses the line now. And that's it, race over. Got a few crashed cars at the line there. Jax given driver of the day, fitting really for the recently crowned champ. He gets to stand on the podium as well. This is actually the first time he stood on the podium. That isn't the top spot. Instead, GeForce Ford stands on that spot with Isaac Kush in 2nd. And Jax completing the podium. There we are. Ah, that was a long one. Partly due to the late start. We started an hour late. But we got through that. We got to the end. Useless forward. Another fine performance from him, this time in the Elite Series with fastest lap 2. Is that cushion second. Jax completes the podium in third, and Spicy, ACW, I Contrast, Tinsel and BP players. G4 Zagrad's at the top 10. Then Pump, Marvelin, then Nick is our final finisher. Hilles, Powersight, Ghost Rider and Prezzo all retiring out of the race. That was long. Not exactly one of the more exciting races I've watched. It wasn't bad though. Wasn't bad at all. Yeah. Was not bad. Yeah, about 13 races, that's all it took. 13 races, 10 race wins, 11 podiums, 1 DNF and a 4th at Suzuka. Kids, quick. That is for sure. No assists as well, that's what the Elite tier is all about. Absolutely no assists. That's properly fast. And to come back from 17th to 3rd is a pretty solid effort, to say the least. Oh. Although, weirdly I got a headache from that. Oh. Need to lie down for a while, I think. Playing too many games. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that will wrap everything up here tonight here on the Elite Series. And we're going to be away for a little while because we've got a week break, according to the calendar at the very least. The next round won't be until... oh, dearie me, I don't know the date, actually. Where is the date? Here it is. It will be the 30th of November to the 5th of December. So we've got a little while to wait until the next round of the championship. But it gives us, all of us who are involved with Race Spec, a bit of a break. Because we do need it. Especially those who do streams almost every day. Holy moly. But I think with everything wrapped up, we can finally end the stream. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I've been Lane Everingham, and we'll see you for round 14 of the championship at a new circuit for Race Spec, Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, better known as Imola, for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Should be interesting as it's a brand new racetrack for pretty much all of us involved here in Race Spec. And hopefully it'll turn out some pretty entertaining racing. But until then, it's goodbye.